The year was 1984. Honda was dominating the GP500 class. And this year, they came up with an entirely different motorcycle. But as they were planning the new best thing, they decided to try something very absurd. Honda came up with a bike which shocked everyone because of its unusual layout. Honda had revealed a motorcycle which had exhaust pipe where the petrol tank was supposed to be, and the fuel tank was beneath the engine. Honda seemed to be clearly out of his mind. Turns out that the reason behind this absurd engine design were a couple of Formula One engineers from the Honda racing team in F1, which joined recently the motorcycle development of the GP500 class. These Formula One engineers argued that in order to improve the handling, they need to lower the center of gravity. A motorcycle with lower center of gravity will make it nimble and easy to throw around. However, the finished product was not what they expected. With a full tank at the start of the race, this bike was impressively stable, though riders found it hard psychologically to get their heads around the weird layout. However, as the fuel load lightened, the bike became increasingly more top-heavy and harder to ride, while other bikes reacted better as the fuel load dropped, and the NSR behaved even worse in the last few laps. This meant that the riders had to take a very different approach. They had to ride the motorcycle differently at the start of the race and smoothly adapt to the transition of how the motorcycle handled. This motorcycle was a nightmare and it gave the riders a very hard time. Aside from the awkward handling of this motorcycle, it had another flaw. As you can see, the exhaust pipes, all four of them, were where the tank was supposed to be, and it would get really hot. The four expansion chambers were smoking the rider's heart like a well-done steak. This made riding this motorcycle even more of a challenge. But one thing we will have to admit is that this motorcycle was a thing of beauty, especially when it was stripped off its fairing. Aside from the awkward handling of this motorcycle, it felt like a hot stove baking your chest, because four expansion chambers were smoking the rider's heart like it's a well-done steak. These experimentations gave us one of the most coolest bikes in history. We love to discuss unconventional motorcycles, especially the two-strokes, and the stories that were affiliated with them. If you share a similar passion, follow us on our Facebook and YouTube channel.